Radial tires. Well, it's complicated. Like I said, it has to do with my LSF Blackbird for one thing. For another thing, one time I was thinking about tires. And like I said, in the old days, we used to just use a steel rim or a wooden wheel and then have rubber on it. Or have bolted rubber, that would go around in sections, and then you would just roll on that. But it didn't leave very much comfort for ride, you see. And then one day I was thinking about tires. And I was thinking about maybe an airless tire. It actually comes from an airless tire, actually, where you'd use cables spun around in circles, or what's it called, spun, and looped from one side to the other side, and then maybe that would be enough to support, but that wouldn't support very much weight though, but it did work though. And then I was thinking, well, what if you just dipped it in rubber? Because the thing is, rubber can't hold air pressure. And the old days, they used to use spun yarn or spun what they called what's it called. And then I was thinking, well, what if you use cable and then dipped it in rubber? And I was like, and then people were like, well, how you gonna make it stick? Blah blah. I was like, well, it should stick. I mean, rubber should go around it and emulsify it, basically. And like I said, my engineers and other people figured it out. Like I say, Germany or basically Germany or Hitler or those people used to call me the Wonder Kid. I was the Wonder Kid or Wonder Kid, basically, because I had all these ideas and all these inventions, and my scientists were working on them, and engineers and people were working on them. But also, so anyway, like I said, yeah, radial tires, basically steel belted tires, as they say, using steel, what's called also figuring out stable steel first and all that, and basically, different metallurgies. I mean, it has to do with my steam shovels, actually. It has more to do with my steam shovels than anything else, actually, because like I said, my steam shovels, and basically, like, we had cast gears on the steam shovels, and the cast gears would break. Like I say, they would be using the steam shovels and be doing like this, and the casted gears kept breaking on us. But like I said, on with the steam shovels though, you would just return the broken casted gear, and they would reforge you another casted gear and put it and give it back to you. So we used an exchange or something like that, where you just bring in your casted gear plus whatever the actual casting time was, which isn't very much. So they just throw the gear into the mix and then bloop, and then put it back and recast you a gear, basically. So the old casted gears and gear casting and cast iron. I did a lot of cast iron stuff, but then we had better than cast iron stuff, and we were coming up with steel and all kinds of other stuff. I don't know what steel means exactly. I used to know what the letters actually meant and all that stuff. Like I say, I don't really care, but yes. Anyway, and I've been denied and basically blah blah. Of course, that was Rick Bush's and Rodney's whole like, if we get to the future, if we control it, and like I say, dude, it doesn't really matter. I had a colony ship and had exoskeletons and 1.5s and all kinds of other life forms with me. They were possibly created just for me. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I don't know. I was, like I said, I was a higher form of life at one point in time. Have been. So like I said, I don't really know. I don't really care. But that's how you know Star and Lucifer Star is my name. White Star Line, steel, basically curved spindle wheels, and basically using steam power to basically push things and basically break rock, and then later on the little rotary and air driven, and even and later on somebody was looking over my schematics and over my plans and was like, well, we could convert this over to hydraulic pretty easily. They saw my steam inventions and my steam stuff, because I was huge on steam and everything else like that, and some people were looking over all my schematics and everything else like that, and they were and they realized that where I had it for steam and stuff, and also like the little air drills, for the dentistry. Is it safe? Because like I was always telling my people to make sure everything was safe and all that stuff. So it's kind of like almost a joke. Is it safe? you know, and stuff like that. But but the little steam pressure and air pressure, basically the same thing, and also even oil pressure. So a lot of people were looking over my schematics and looking over my patents and everything else like that, or the plans that my people had for the old steam stuff, and they realized, wait a minute, this could easily be done with hydraulic too. all this stuff would work with hydraulic. I mean, one steam versus hydraulic, it's still a fluid, blah blah blah. So they used a lot of my plans, a lot of my ideas that were originally, because I spent a huge amount of time and effort on steam power and steam stuff and air pressure and stuff like that. So people just looked over my things and were like, I guess they wanted to support me or whatever. So they looked over my stuff and they realized, wait a minute, we could do this with hydraulics and all that other stuff. And I was like, well, we were going into hydraulic power and hydraulics too, but there's a, anyway. So yeah. So, well, I was mostly air pressure and steam power and all that other stuff, but also, what works for steam can also work for hydraulic as well. So, and then there was just the matter of basically, well, I used a lot of cable stuff and did a lot of cable stuff, and then later on I came up with an idea for a hydraulic ram, and then they started using that. But the problem, of course, again, is over hoses. We used a lot of metal. The reason why I wasn't using a lot of hydraulic stuff is because, the hose pressure and the pressure that it takes to push those rams, and stuff like that. So the hoses were always a problem, and the connection joints and the swivelly and stuff like that. But with people can figure all that out, so they did. So anyway, like I say, I can't do everything. And after a while, I was like, can't I just invest and be massively rich? People were like, yes, you can. So anyway, so I just paid people at a certain point because, like I said, at a certain point, my brain was fried and I was exhausted. And even my people were saying, he's been at it for weeks. He's been at it for months. Give him a rest. People were saying, we're telling other people to let me have a rest because I've been at it for weeks or months or years. Just thinking of all these inventions and all these ideas and figuring them out. So I was exhausted. I was the one person for which everything else would come, or everything had come. So, and I was having to have to redo everything I had ever done, or something like that. So, it was a nightmare. So, anyway, because like I said, I just changed my name to American Citizen Brian. Like that's it, just Brian. And some people were trying to deny me and trying to say that I wasn't Lucifer Star anymore, or I wasn't Little Lucifer. It's like, yes, I am. Still Lucifer Star. And then they were trying to have me killed or have me put in an insane asylum or had me removed or something like that. It's like, I'm still your creator. Still Lucifer Star. Little Lucifer. You used to know me as Little Lucifer or Lone Star. Lucifer Star is my name. So, anyway. First I was known as Star, and then I was known as Lucifer Star. But I mean, like I said, I always had Lucifer stuff as well. I mean, there was Lucifer's powder, which was basically sulfur and bat guano or something like that, or basically some other saltpeter. I mean, sulfur and saltpeter and in my trade or something like that. Like it doesn't really matter. Like I said at one point in time, I'm not a chemist, and I wasn't a chemist. I had chemists and all that, and then there came a point where I was going to have to do the chemistry work too, or something like that. So they helped me be able to do the chemistry work. And like I said, I hate chemistry. I was never very good at chemistry. I don't like chemistry. And eventually, like I said, I was, well, it has to do with the fact that I was sentenced to death and I was going to die. And and they wanted me to do 1.5 million years of community service. So I had to become more. And like I said, and then I was killed and forgotten about, and then some nanotechnology or some other life form found me and saved me. Maybe myself, maybe Stretchy, I don't know. Paradoxical. Are you paradoxically inclined? Yes, I am. I was. So some people were trying to do something and it was a paradox. They were trying to create a paradox, or they did create a paradox or something like that. Or would have created a paradox or something. I don't really know. Like I said, a lot of people, lots of people thought they could just do this thing or do something, and it was impossible. Every scientist told them that it was impossible. My scientists told them that it was impossible. Other scientists told them that was impossible. They basically, everyone told Rodney or told these people that it was impossible to do whatever it was that they wanted to do. And I don't know. I guess it's a paradox or something. They're trying to do something that's a paradox. Try and make me not me or something. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. I don't care. It's like I am Mr. Star. So these people, they finally took like $250,000 or so and went to a drunk scientist who was always drunk and basically paid him, and the scientist gave them a list of instructions to do. or something. And like I said, he didn't. He even told them that it wouldn't work, that it couldn't work, that it was impossible, and and that and and so he was always drunk. And eventually, I don't know if he died or not, but basically, my people eventually found him and found who Rodney or George W. Bush was talking to. Like I said, Walker, um, Skywalker. Apparently, George W. Bush is supposed to be the Skywalker son or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, it's my White House. It's Elizabeth White Star's house. Stone buildings, that kind of thing, steam power, all that stuff. So they're just, I don't know, trying to do how they were a flight or they were blah, 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 blah. And like I said, I don't really care. Their craziness and their stupidity for being the United States Congress, which is just congressing through nations, congressing into women. They call it fornicating now, or sex, basically. Like I said, the whole thing of basically how Lockheed is a lie, the Skunk Works is a lie. Skunk Works was just a sewage outhouse company. They just built outhouses. That's all they did. And they were trying to use it as basically a money laundering thing. Lockheed didn't build any of the aircraft, or do any of the aircraft research. America or the Congress just assumed since Europe was doing everything, and Europe had already had super fast and sound projects going, that they would just simply copy their work and then kill them off. So like I said, China, Germany, and basically Europe and England, basically, where those scientists were doing all the work, and basically, then they just figured they would just kill off the people before they came to America, before something or other. I don't really know. Like I said, Richard Nixon, John McCain's, and the fake presidents of America, their plan, I don't really know. I don't really care. But there's a reason why they need technology. They have to have technology. They must have technology. And even the black people have to have technology because they're fucked. 100 years ago, they were doing a color card reference thing. And basically, if you were black or if you were white, you could have whatever you want and do whatever you want in Germany or something like that. Anyway, and it was just so horrible. You know, it's just people with guns doing a horrible thing. So anyway, like I said, and it was all to basically kill me or to keep me from existing or keep me from becoming Brian. But it's like, well, I'm your creator. I'm the creator of 12 other life form types, and also the leader of basically 12 life form types, and 9 of the oldest life forms in existence, and blah, 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 blah. And builder of stars, planets, and your body, your genetics. Also, why you have a conscience, everything else. Everything that you are, I created, and also named America and all kinds of other stuff. And it's like, well, it was a long time ago. Anyway, like I say, I believe I did it. I'm pretty sure I did it. I'm pretty positive I did it. And like I say, and that's just for you to realize how I did it. And like I say, I invented your laws and your constitution, and basically invented the American government, and even some governments in China or Japan, and all kinds of other stuff. As owner of Lucifer White Star Line's mining and shipping company. I'm the head person. Existential, all that stuff, Borg, whatever, nanotechnology, stretchy nanobot, all that stuff. Basically technology, and also led 400 to 120 to 400 other lifetime types in the universe to extend it. They say I have uplifted or taught the most amount of life forms, or ascended the most amount of life forms in the universe, basically. And I was civilization master of the universe or something like that. I'm builder of stars and blah blah, and it's just like, well, I'm retired now. That's what I used to do. I am the Lord or the leader before there were any stars in existence, and possibly something having to have to do with the whole universe being created or something. And I don't really know. I don't really care. It was a long time ago. I'm retired. Doesn't matter. And as far as the truth and everything else, well, you can go and spelunk around the universe and find out for yourself. Ask another life form. Ask other life forms about Lucifer Star Line or Lucifer Star. About the LSF colony ship and other things. Like I say, it doesn't really matter to me. It has a great epic existence and blah blah blah, and I created your body, and also protected the Japanese and Chinese as the cute little children that they are. I might have been responsible for their creation in the first place, and they're wonderful little young people. And very innocent, and they embraced technology and were like little sponges. I was like, ooh, they're like little sponges. Can I keep them forever? Because the Chinese people, they embraced everything, and they were so wonderful and cute, and and also honorable and honest, and they were everything that I could ever want them to be, and a great, magnificent nation that actually changed themselves and did things to become the perfect life form that I would want them to be. And they are perfect, and they are wonderful. But like I say, also the Irish were also wonderful and amazing too, in their own way. Very hard workers. So anyway, like I said, I don't try and cover up. I don't try and hide. I don't try and ruin someone else's glory. Like, you're glorious in your own way. And in fact, I did also tell life forms and people, I was like, be different. Don't always try and be what everyone else is. I mean, you can try and be the same as everyone else, and that's fine. But if you don't fit in, if you want to be different, be different. There's nothing wrong with being different. I am Lucifer Starline. And technically, I suppose I'm different in my own way, too. I was epic and existential and 1,012 galaxies or 1,000 whatever. I built this galaxy. I built the galaxy coming towards us. That's why I named this galaxy the Milky Way. I am the one for which stars are named after. Like I said, epic existence and all that other stuff. Like I say, I mean, you can be epic too in your own way. Yes, everything's been invented at least once already, but that doesn't mean you can't invent it again, and that doesn't mean you can't go out and do your own thing. Like, I mean, I encourage people to seek out the past, to find new and better food combinations, to try and invent or build something different. Yes, I own this planet and own quite a few of the companies and blah, 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 and I'm the founder of your financial system and blah, 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 and all kinds of things. I'm the great steam empire king, and also the one who invented the diesel engine. Yes, I am epic. Yes, I was epic. It was wonderful. Many people love me and regard me as a protector of society and civilization. All that kind of things. And basically, I was the only thing that was actually a true leader, a true lord. And I said, oh, well, whatever. Rodney and a couple other people decided to rain on my parade. Anyway, ruined my vacation. Basically, all that Mr. I'll Never Die, I'll Never Grow Old accomplished, along with arm chopping off Nixon, was basically to epic vacation ruin. Along with Zachary, or aka Bill Gates, and his LS shells, which are basically an open nuclear reaction in midair, and basically, yeah, get on the ground floor, man. A little idiot smearing himself with goat blood, yelling, Alfa Romeo! High on LSD or some shit on Guantanamo Bay or something. I don't know. That's what I heard. And trying to hunt down Irish or British police officers, to cover up his 17-hour, 48-hour teletype hostage situation. Anyway, I don't really know. As I said, I don't really care. I'll tell you when things were invented and when they were done, and who invented them and who built them or who whatever. I don't really care. But yeah. There's a lot of long-haul truckers. There's a lot of people. Like I said, Ronnie Breddy was basically the trucker nightmare of the southwestern Texas or whatever. He was using his supposed invented 50 cal. He did not invent the 50 cal. It has nothing to do with the 50 cal. He was raiding trucks that were going across the, if you were an independent trucker and you were going across the plains of whatever, him and his brothers would go and try and steal your trucks. And basically they would sit up on a ridge with a 50 cal and they'd go and kill you and then take your truck and sell off the stuff. Ronnie Breddy is a very bad person. And I don't know. He's done some very bad things. He should just be honest about them. But I guess when you're a thief and you're killing truckers like crazy, they're just trying to make a living driving trucks. I don't know. Like I said, you have to find out. You have to ask him. His brothers were going to be cornered and killed, and they probably should have been. Like he would say, I thought that was going our way. Anyway, terrorist situations and also killing people, blah, blah, blah. Because sometimes when someone won't make a deal with you, you gotta kill them, I guess. Not that really changes the situation any, it's like, so his replacement just does the same thing that he was going to do because you're trying to get them to do something, blah, 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 or something. I don't know. I said, you have to talk to Ronnie Breddy. He lived a good life and he bought a lot of stuff and drove a lot of nice cars, mostly of my invention and my creation. Trying to whatever, I don't know. He said, I don't really care. Eventually he got with some Chinese, maybe, I don't know. I said a lot of the guns he sells are basically cheap, or I believe he was responsible for the Saturday night specials, basically. Cheap, crappy guns that would jam on you or something like that. Nobody wanted to make guns for him because I don't know. Anyway, supposedly he was, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. Like I mean, the whole like become a conqueror or kill lots of people or do the human wave. Get 5,000 people in Africa to run through Spain and shoot people and rape women. Like I said, do you know what they're doing? They're doing, and they would put their knuckles down, and they would walk into a city, right? Walk down Main Street, and they go, and they would put down their knuckles, and they would they'd assume the position like a gorilla, and then they would look up. And these are like steroid freaks. And they look up at a girl. And then they would run at the girl. And then they would grab her and hold her down and rip off her clothes and start raping her. My Irish soldiers just went up from the windows, went. They would get about 50 feet from the women and headshot. They were trying to intimidate the population. Just a bunch of, and they're trying to make people think that yeah, we're alpha male, we were just built better, genetics, yeah, we're just better, we're the people that are gonna control you and blah 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 blah. They weren't. They were just taking massive amounts of steroids. You just take the steroid, you inject it, and your muscles get bigger. The pills don't really work. You have to inject it directly into the muscle or something like that, and then you get these big, huge muscles. And they were creating these big muscular freaks and stuff like that. And then they were going, like I said, I just wanted to kill them. Because they're just lying about everything. They're just using a chemical, steroid. And they're trying to intimidate normal people inside of a city. Just like when the A-10 Warthog pilot was trying to threaten a city and demanding that the city make him mayor. And just like the SWAT team that was trying to threaten a city, saying that if the city didn't blah 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 blah, they would go door to door and kill everyone in the city or something like that. Just only the least, most less pathetic. I mean, but that's no different than say Abraham Lincoln. I'll be getting dressed in Gettysburg or having Gettysburg. By the time they find your body, and no one will think that I killed you. I'll be leaving on the train or your stagecoach as he was getting dressed. As I was dying of a fever. It's like, what? Because nobody knows about viruses? The incubation of a virus is about 5 or 6 days. And like I said, they actually killed me by poison, I believe. So. Anyway, the pathetic losers of the past that killed and basically thought that he who lives writes history were wrong. I said, I don't really know. I only know bits and pieces of what is. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. And like I said, I had faith in everyone else. I had faith in time and space and technology and the future that eventually, somebody would come to go get them. That their lives would not stand forever. I'm just Lucifer Star. Titanic, seagoing ships, spaceships, steamships, steam trains, LS. That's my name, Lucifer Star. Means gunpowder. My name means gunpowder. It sounded stupid when other people would say it. My name means gunpowder. They might have even laughed at me in the TV show somewhat. My name means gunpowder. Lucifer Star. Lucifer's powder. Well, it's something that I could do that we did. I basically owned a pond. So anyway. Like I said, killing my Germans or killing my people in death camps would not change the situation. I love my people very, 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 very much, and I was very, very, very attached to them. Attached to my Germans, attached to my Irishmen, attached to my Japanese and Chinese people. One people, even if we come from different backgrounds. They were scared of me because I had over 2 million workers in Japan at one point in time, or China. They were scared of me. They were scared because I had assembled quite a massive grouping of people. Like I say, if you're going to be scared of me, be scared of me for the fact that I'm your creator. And basically, back in the creation and history, basically creators could do whatever they wanted, and so did I. As I was the oldest. Other creators would come along and blah blah and just copy me. That's why when Trumpy was trying to communicate with the other life forms in space, and even trying to make a deal to sell off one of the other planets in the solar system, and when other people were trying to kill off some humans or get humans changed or adapted or modified. Ring ring. Yes? Lucifer Starline. Mining and shipping. All calls were always directed back to me. Because everybody knew I was a creator. So anyway, even the adapted or changed or whatever always came to me. I was the best of the best of the best of the best of the genetic people. Or life forms. Technically I was a computer. So people contacted me and said, well, blah blah. I made some few changes, but not that much. Anyway, so yeah. All roads lead to me. It's like, well, I love you too. Yeah, and yes, I do know how Trumpy is trying to negotiate or renegotiate deals that I negotiated with the rest of the stars or the rest of space. I was contacted. And it was funny when he was trying to contact or talk to the other life forms in the galaxy and the universe. Supposedly on my behalf, but he's not really doing it on my behalf. He's living in my house and living a lie. So I was contacted about all the other presidents trying to negotiate. Anyway, and even found out about how they were trying to sell off one of the planets to some nanotech life forms or nanotech life form. Like I said, their finances or money or whatever was refunded. And they're told never to contact them again. Lots of life forms knew about me throughout the universe. Lots of life forms know about me. I was epic and have a very long-running history. So when other people tried to negotiate on my behalf or tried to negotiate blah blah, or other life forms tried to sell off blah blah, I had negotiated deals already and negotiated everything. And already done everything. So they were just trying to renegotiate deals or renegotiate something. And like I say, their money or whatever was refunded, and they were told to never contact them again. Once they found out. And besides, like I said, once people found out that this was my planet and these were my planets, their money was refunded, and they were told to never contact them again. Basically. Because, like I say, in my honor, I built 12 galaxies, and I'm responsible for the creation of most life forms in existence, including your brain and your body. I did all that work, and your language. So, with great respect, and like I said, there's lots of things that were done. I was constantly being contacted, and people were saying, no charge, don't worry about it. I said, but I want to pay you. I'm good with money if I never use it. So I paid them anyway. Because it's just my way. I don't ever get any, I don't want anything for free. I didn't want anything for free. I wanted to do my part just like everybody else. It's like, yes, I'm the epic creator, yes, blah blah, but that doesn't mean I wasn't willing to work. I wasn't willing to give something. So they gave me reduced prices. I reduce this or reduce that. Like I said, there are 12 galaxies or 12 life forms or lots of planets or worlds where you could take basically an IOU from me and get it paid by them. I have credit with just about everyone. Or I'm rich in just about every place. So I could have whole starships built. I'm responsible for whole planets and whole whole civilizations. So, yes, quite a rich person. So yeah, that's why even Brian, even without time travel, even without heavy weapons, pretty safe. You know, it's like, well, it's like this. I'll just explain it to you so you understand. Like I say, I love you, care about you, and a lot of things you've done are very wonderful and everything else like that. But just to explain the situation, I said a lot of people were in a lot of trouble because they had pretended to be my eyes, my ears, my mouth, my nose, my whatever. And a lot of people had pretended to be working on my behalf or something, but they weren't working on my behalf. They were just trying to find a way to kill me or make me not so important. Trying, like I said, even naming me or having letting my name be changed to Brian. They're just trying to kill off the real Lucifer Starline, me, as Brian. So, creator of 12 galaxies and responsible and creator of the human race and 12 other types of life. So, anyway, yeah, lots of things. So anyway, like I say, whatever. I don't really know. It was a long, crazy thing, and their plan was crazy. Many scientists told them that was impossible, that it couldn't be done. You can't deny me. You can't deny my money. You can't deny the fact that I'm rich. Lucifer Star is everywhere. It's in your manufacturing, it's in your language, it's in your body, it's in your mind, it's in the way you act. And simply saying that I'm poor and that I don't exist really didn't change anything. Like I said, it was JFK that was the most jealous of me. I said it was a woman, or it came to a head one night. He was trying to get a date or trying to go sleep with a girl. And nobody would, I had just brought out a new ship or something, or just brought out a new something or other, or done something epic that was in the newspapers and all over, being talked about all over the world. And he was trying to sleep with some girl or trying to talk to some girl about politics or something like that, and they didn't want to talk to him. They didn't want to hear it. What's politics? What's whatever? They only wanted to talk about the new ship that I had brought out, or the new whatever. Next to me, JFK was really small and insignificant. And the only way he could be significant was to kill a lot of people, I guess. Whatever. I don't know. Jealousy? I said a Chinese or Japanese warrior took the sword and was about to chop off his head because he had shot the room full of. He had taken the gun and sprayed it across the room, and the Japanese warrior had gone. Samurai had the sword right at the guy's neck, and if it wasn't for one of the other people grabbing the gun and lifting it up into the air, the warrior would have kept going and would have probably sliced his head right off. And JFK was like, "Did you see that? Did you see their faces? Did you see that?" And one of the other ones said, "Shut up, kid. What are you talking about? We just saved your life." He didn't even he was so far whatever, he didn't even realize that he was about to have his head chopped off. But the Japanese warriors, to credit to Japan and China, the warrior was so good and so expert with the sword, he halted it just as it got to the kid's spine, and he was just bleeding down the neck. It was just right across here. Nice big cut. And he was bleeding. The samurai went right as it touched his head, because he saw that the gun was in the air and then the gun was being taken away. And it was no longer important for him to kill. That's how good they are. That's how good my people were. They should have chopped off his head. He shouldn't have stopped. But honor and duty. The Japanese and the Chinese come from a great, great long legacy of perfection. Anyone that would misunderstand that would be a fool. Anyway, JFK didn't respect anyone, didn't respect anything. Nor did Rodney or the others. They had no respect. They didn't respect me, they didn't respect themselves, they didn't respect society, they didn't respect how they looked. They walked down the street in those sheets yelling, "Fuck you, suck my dick," and they were just so like. And other people would have been what other people might have thought is, "What are you talking? What are you doing?" I mean, like we are recorded. This is an epic recording of history. Like the whole society was being recorded in history. Everyone who would ask would have told you that from that star's beginning, all the way through the particle creation process, all the way through all the lives coming to these planets and stuff, was being recorded and written down and in history and logs, and was being documented by several different life form types throughout the universe. This was my epic recording of a star from beginning to end. There was no possibility of them doing anything. And the records were being held in three or four different life form types in 3 or 4 different civilizations in 3 or 4 different places throughout the universe. Where? Who knows? Who knows where? As Jimmy Carter might have said. There was no possibility of anyone getting away with anything here. Like I even told them that this is an epic recording of history. My showing of what I could do and what I had done and what was possible. A star's creation from beginning to end. And not the kind that you sign up to go and act about, but actually physical matter creation process. All the way through. All the different steps, all the different things that happened. So anyway, like I say, I was doing something epic and whatever, and was epic. And I had lots of teams and lots of people working with me. There's going to be this epic recording of history. Anyway, though, and apparently some people thought that something. History would be written by those who lived, and that we're alone in the galaxy and space dust. So anyway, like I say, there are thousands upon trillions upon millions of life forms that are here on this planet that were trying to do something and trying to show something and show the galaxy and the universe how epic and great we are. And many people did. Possibly even biker gangs, even Hell's Angels, might have even had to defend from those psychotic, crazy idiots in the Senate. I don't really know. Like I said, some people were wondering why someone was carrying around a briefcase with handcuffs on it. It's like, and people were like, it must be diamonds. It's like, no, it's got to be something more important than diamonds. It's like, well, it was a nuclear briefcase, being with a radio signal to a nuclear bomb or nuclear missiles. That's what I believe it was, and it was JFK or Nixon's way of controlling the population or controlling the leaders of the country. Anyway, the Hells Angels figured it out. There had to be something valuable in there, something important. Anyway, the presidents or the Congress was trying to make the nuclear briefcase a secret, keep it a secret. I said, I'll explain the whole thing to you. And like I said, the idiots drove inside of an underground. They took a subway or an underpass one time and went into a tunnel, and it lost contact with the receiver. I believe there was a booster thing inside the car that boosted the signal from the briefcase or something like that. Yeah, but kind of like a cell system or whatever. And it lost contact, and the missiles launched. I believe they stopped it, or they detonated the missiles in midair or something like that, and averted destroying the whole world. But basically, they went into a subway. They went into an underpass, right, thing, and basically the missiles were like missiles fueling. Because the idiots didn't really understand that if that briefcase ever loses signal with whatever, it assumes blah blah blah. And anyway, I don't really know. It was a safety protocol that some idiot added. So it's because they were holding the whole world ransom, or they're holding people ransom. And it was Nixon or JFK or someone, realistically. Like I said, he had been trying to blow up the world very unsuccessfully, and had finally had it redone, and then killed all the people who redid it. They killed like 2 or 3 teams of people I feel sorry for the programmers or for the technicians that worked on the missile system in the first place, and they knew that they were going to be killed after they had finished their work. So, anyway, like I said, Germany knew very well that the United States was most likely going to nuke them with their own weapons, and it was actually meant to be a defense system. And the missiles were even designed originally to carry people and not weapons. So somebody spent a lot of time trying to figure out how they can hold the world hostage or do something, and to no avail.